This 21st of July will begin the mass of vaccination for the application of the second dose, and several people in the community are wondering if they can receive the second dose and the vaccine on the island after having received the first dose outside the department.
Hello, Lisa and all the TV viewers. Well, the Secretary of Health, Julian Davis, explained that all those people who take the first doses of the vaccine outside the island can receive the second doses here in the island if they comply with the next requirements. This is what he said.
It depends if the person who is outside the department meets the date for the second dose. They would have to be aware of the type of vaccine that was applied outside the department. In other words, it depends on the availability of the vaccine that we have. Because, for example, we do not have Pfizer. So if you have the first dose of that type, you would not be able to apply the second dose of Pfizer here. We have availability of AstraZeneca and Sinovac doses.
On the other hand, Davis gave information about the second massive vaccination for this 21st of July.
The only change that will be in the logistics is that they will not be 5 but 3 days, July 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, with all the remaining logistics available. Same vaccination teams with the collaborators of the first session present.
We want to remind all the community that for this second massive vaccination, they must bring the cédula and the vaccination card. That's all the information for now. For Teleislas News, Gisela Livison. Have a good day.
The archipelago was one of the territories chosen by the national government to unveil the new uniform of the National Police, as well as more details of the process of transformation of this police force. More information on this fact.
11 cities in the country were chosen to start the pilot plan for the transformation of the National Police, which also includes the change of uniform. 908 members of the institution went out to the streets all over the country with this navy blue new uniform, leaving behind the olive green color.
Este plan piloto que ha establecido la policía.
This pilot plan established by the police is an initiative of our general direction, together with the national government, which seeks to create close ties with the community, a proximity. This blue color means just that, courtesy, community, that police-citizen binomial that is so much needed for the security and citizen coexistence.
The pilot transformation plan has value of 34,000 million pesos according to the data from the Ministry of the Interior, which also includes the strengthening of technology.
Vamos a implementar nuevas tecnologías, body cam.
We are going to implement new technologies, body cam, a telescope, baton, in short, several state-of-the-art technologies, which will help us to ensure that the police generate respect for human rights and always maintain the integrity of the police in their procedures. Of the 14 quadrants that San Andres has, we are going to start the pilot plan with 8 quadrants, which are the places where we have more affluence of people, where we have more cases, where more daily situations are presented, as well as some tourism units, environmental police, and others.
This pilot plan will run for 60 days in the 11 selected cities.
And if you are one of the more than 400 beneficiaries of the value-added tax refund in San Andres, you will be able to collect this money until the 4th of August.
In spite of the fact that in the island value-added tax or VAT is not charged, the national government opened a special benefit for the department where for San Andres, 370 are beneficiaries and 70 in the island of Wild Providence. The regional director of Social Prosperity explained what it is about.
En estos momentos iniciamos pago de devolución de IVA.
At this moment, we are initiating the payment of VAT refund from July 16th through August 4th. The beneficiaries can go to Superheroes and cash at the window showing the identification card.
On the other hand, the official explained that the beneficiaries of Familias en Acción may also claim the VAT refund on the island.
También quisiera recalcarles a los beneficiarios de Familias en Acción.
I would also like to emphasize to the beneficiaries of Familias en Acción who also receive VAT refund that they can withdraw it in Superheroes and in Familias en Acción, and they can withdraw both at the same time.
Those who wish to know if they are beneficiaries of the VAT refund may enter the portal devolucioniva.prosperidadsocial.gov.co and enter their ID number to find out if they are part of the benefit.
And from Las Palmas neighborhood, Teleislas News knows the situation of several inhabitants due to the overflow of Blackwaters and bad odors.
Through social networks, Teleislas learned that the sector of Las Palmas is going through a problem of sewage overflowing in front of a house. This situation affects the health of all residents, especially of the children who play in the area. Nibeli Solis Londoño and Ena Figueroa explain what happens then.
This has been horrible because we have had the problem of the water overflowing for more than 8 days. We have called Coralina, Veolia, and nobody has shown up here. I feel sorry for the neighbor who has to deal with this problem because it is not her fault and the community has fallen on her because of the clogging. She has been called to attention, but we haven't united to get ahead and fix this problem. That's why I made this publication. I have a 2-year-old girl who is vomiting. I can't sleep because of the smell in the house. I have to stand here watching the children and stop them because they don't know it's sewage water and they go out and play with it. We already have public health problems. This is a very, very complicated issue, and that is why I want Veolia to solve this problem today. As for the water service, it is very, very bad every month. Maybe they put it on just once. They put it on for a very short period of time.
Ena Figueroa and Nibeli, on behalf of the community of these sectors, hope that this situation will soon be resolved.
And in other news, maritime authorities announced that in an operation they captured and seized 1,535 kilograms of cocaine, 45 miles from San Andres.
In the last hours, units of Colombian Navy carried out a maritime interdiction operation against a Go-Fast motor vessel named Salmo 20H7, which apparently sailed from Turbo in Antioquia, with 5 Colombian nationals on board carrying a shipment of alkaloids. Once the Colombian Navy received information from the U.S. authorities and the National Air and Naval Service of Panama, SENAN, regarding the suspicious vessel in the waters from the Caribbean Sea. It deployed a Colombian naval aviation aircraft, which carried out the maritime interdiction operation with the support of the surface unit and 2 Coast Guard rapid reaction units 45 nautical miles north of San Andres, heading towards Central America.
Con la participación de una fragata.
With the participation of a Colombian frigate, Coast Guard units, a U.S. Maritime Patrol boat, and a Panamanian Maritime Patrol boat, in addition to a naval helicopter, the interdiction of the vessel was finally achieved, in which 5 people were on board. The crew, upon seeing the presence of the authorities, threw the drugs into the sea.
The drug shipment was recovered from the sea and transported to the Coast Guard station of San Andres, where the initial preliminary homologated test was performed, showing positive for 1,535 kilograms of cocaine. The captured persons, the vessel, and the illicit substance were handed over to the Attorney General's office.
At this time, we continue with an assessment of COVID-19 cases in our department.
There was an increase in the COVID-19 infection during the weekend in our department. On July 16, there were 27 cases of COVID-19 in the island. On Saturday, July 17, 17 cases of COVID-19 were registered. And yesterday, July 18, 15 new infections were reported according to the report of the National Health Institute. During these 3 days, there were no deaths due to the pandemic, which shows a decrease in the number of fatal cases of the virus. According to the latest local report as of July 18, the COVID situation is as the following. 6,598 positive cases have been registered, 3,488 among women and 3,110 among men. There are 85 active cases. 6,369 people have recovered, 132 have died, and according to the chart released by the administration, most deaths were seen between the month of May and July. 33,462 tests have been applied throughout the pandemic, and in the latest week, 275 samples have been applied. The Health Secretary Julian Davis commented on the occupation of the intensive care unit of the departmental hospital.
For today, July 14th, we have the report from the Departmental Social State Enterprise, refers to as the Departmental Essay. Currently, we have 5 people on the floor who are not complicated for COVID-19, and in the ICU, we do not have anyone.
The National Vaccination Plan reports 50,355 vaccines administered. The community is reminded that this Wednesday will begin the second session of the mass vaccination in the island territory.
And as of today, July 19, the entry of single-use plastics in the department is prohibited.
According to Law 1973 issued in 2019, a period of 2 years was given for the various authorities to make pedagogy in the regard. However, today the law is already in force, and the entry of one single-use plastics such as cups, spoons, straws, bottles, bags, and disposable styrofoam elements is prohibited.
The purpose of this law is to protect all ecosystems of the archipelago, considering all the negative impact that plastic has in general and in the islands of the Caribbean and the sea. It is very important that the whole community takes into account that it is a law adopted by a resolution which is prohibitive and important because it makes us participants in a process that is being carried out at the national level.
Likewise, the law stipulates that it is also prohibited the exit of plastic bags, plates, straws, and plastic cup or styrofoam for the continental territory if the final destination is the archipelago department of San Andres, Old Providence, and Santa Catalina. Commercial vessels arriving in the departmental may not use plastic bags or final disposal of garbage and must make the disposal of waste when arriving to port in the mainland.
And now let's get to know other facts that are making news in our brief news sections of today.
The Tourism Protection Group of the National Police leads the campaign in the department All Against Theft, which seeks to prevent this crime in all its forms through the use of banners with messages alluding to take care of belongings. The uniformed officers reminded residents and tourists alike to take care of their items in public spaces, especially before entering the beaches. In addition, they remind them to make good use of their face masks. The Subcommittee of Public Space, the Departmental Police, Chamber of Commerce, Coralina, and the Mar this weekend conducted a session of socialization of Ordinance Number 009 of 2019 on the Sprat Bite Pathway, which regulate the use of public space, in order to make known the requirements and conditions for the economic use of public space in the department. During the activity, traders were invited to adapt and to carry out in a rational way the occupation in the areas as public space that are allowed to be occupied. The Secretary of Mobility, Luis Manuel Torres James, delivered 140 certifications and t-shirts to taxi drivers who attended the training in transport regulations provided by this office. This activity provides drivers with basic tools for the improvement of their services through knowledge in customer care and service, and at the same time they learn the regulations that regulate their work and economic activity.
Now we continue with the weather forecast. The weather forecast for today, July 19, in the coastal area of the archipelago, the sky is mainly cloudy. Temperature is 31 degrees Celsius with winds from the northeast direction with intensities of 18 km per hour. Humidity forecast is of 70% and probability of precipitation is of 8%.